Hello everyone, this is Tina from Tina's Workshop, and this is our next Wonderland Yarns video. This is June. We are halfway through the year. I am affiliated with Wonderland Yarns. There will be a link in the description down below to their website and also a discount code for 20% off, so make sure and grab that. Every month you get a box that will have yarn, stitch markers, and a little card progress thing. I'll show you. And a QR so that you can do either a knit or a crocheted square, and at the end of the year then it'll get put together into a blanket. And it is, where is it? Go right there. Tour of the season, and I should have grabbed a different one so I can show you up closer because it's a little hard to see that far back. And words. I lost my words. I got the box just a couple days ago. I've got my squares worked up so you can see what they look like. I do pay for one box. I get a second skein of yarn from them so that I can work on both blankets. So I have two completed ones at the end of the year, and you get to see how the squares work up at about the same time that you should be getting your boxes. So far, here is my progress. I have been working along. I am doing the throw size on both blankets. So I am doing 2 crocheted squares and 4 knit squares each month. And so far I have the crochet squares done for each month, and I have a lot of the knit squares done. I still need to do 3 for February and 3 for April, and then this month. The only one that I have had an issue with so far was last month's, if you saw last month's video, and it was a little bit tight. It didn't stretch out far enough. I was talking to Grace from Wonderland Yarns, and she gave me the suggestion, instead of remaking it in a different hook size, she gave me the suggestion of putting another round or 2, depending on what I need, onto it, which makes really good sense. I'm not wasting anything that way. So I think I will do that. I think I will just add an extra round or 2, whatever I need, onto these squares to get them to the size that they need to be. So when you're working that one, if you end up with that same issue, check it when you get to the end before you clip your yarn. And if you need it still a little bit bigger, then just add another round or 2, because your last rounds on it are just single crochet anyway. So you're increasing in the corners, you're just doing the single crochet round, so just do the same thing for another round or 2. So otherwise, I have not had issues with any of them. I have found, since I've been doing this, when I first started in January, I had never done a square working outwards with your pinhole cast on and working outwards. So there was a learning curve for me there. And I had just switched my style of knitting, so of course there was a learning curve there. And I was like, oh, I don't like all these needles. So you guys have seen my whole little mess of circular needles I use instead. So this is my little setup of stuff. And I really like doing this so much better than just the straight ones, because they like get in my way, and these I can twist it out of my way. So I really like this. But all that being said, at this point in the year, I'm really enjoying the knit squares. I have gotten the pinhole cast on down, and I don't have to look it up anymore. And I sit and I work on the squares, and I'm really liking working on these knit squares. So now I'm like excited each month to see what the knit square is going to be. So, so this is my progress so far. And what you're here for, you want to see the yarn for this month. So here it is. How beautiful. It is kind of a blue-gray type of color, almost purpley gray, with these little highlights in it of the purple. You can see these little tiny splashes. Come on, focus. These little splashes of color in it, and it's really pretty. It reminded me a bit of our first color in January, but it's a much darker, and it has that purpley color into it. It's really pretty. And hold on, my dog wants in. She was sitting outside enjoying the sun and decided she wanted in. Let's see, where was I at? Okay. I totally forgot where I was at. We were talking about the yarn. If you saw, and I don't know, like I said, I walked for 2 seconds and I forgot where I was at. But if you saw my video last week on Wednesday, you'll have seen the basket that I made. And I decided this was the perfect spot to display my Wonderland yarns from the whole year. So when I need a color for one of the ones I'm working on, I can come grab it out of my little basket and find it really easy because they were kind of getting into different places. So now they're all together. So this one will get put right there with it. And we also got our stitch markers. Where'd the other one go? There it is. We got our stitch markers, and of course you guys know I love their stitch markers. And the one says flawless, my dear, on the book with a little diamond, and the other one is got a little teapot. Oh, I always turn that the wrong way. And then there was this, our little progress card with the wisteria, which goes beautifully with our colors and our little purple progress keepers. Oh, turn around, turn around. There we go. And then the back has your work in progress card, and the front, dearest gentle reader, mark your calendar and prepare to witness a union that shall undoubtedly have its mark on history. The recently anticipated wedding of Mr. Colin Bridgerton promises to be the talk of the town. But who, dear reader, is his intended? I suppose all shall be revealed in time. This writer has heard that your attendance is not only requested but anticipated by none other than our beloved Lady Violet Bridgerton. Yours in growing anticipation, Lady Whistledown. So that is our card for the month. And then our squares. So our knit square is called Blossoming Romance by Stephanie Sheeman. Drawing inspiration from the romantic garden scene in The Viscount Who Loved Me, this 6th square in our series showcases a lace floral motif. The delicate pattern represents the romance and beauty of that scene, making it perfect for adding a touch of Bridgerton magic to your blanket. So here is our square. Not pretty. And it's this color is kind of hard for me to find the right background that it will show on, and you can kind of see it, but it has this pretty little lacy bit in each side, and it was a really nice square to work on. I enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable knit, a lot like last week's, and you got your patterning going, and you just got it in a rhythm. And then our crocheted square, Miss Bridgerton by Grace Stamper, All hail this season's diamond. As a lover of historical romance, modern twists or not, we couldn't fail to pay honor to the splashy Bridgerton series that is all the talk of the town. The simple diamond fillet shape is easy to work up and provides a quiet background design to the other squares in this series. And it was a nice, easy one. Both squares this month were really nice. And this one, you really need that red background to see it. So see the diamonds in each one of the sides. And it's just that filet crochet, and it comes out really nice. And it's a really easy one, and as you're working, you get into a rhythm and you know that your next set of stitches is working right alongside of these other holes that were there. So even without counting, you get to the point where you anticipate where those stitches are going. So they were both really nice squares. They're gonna look lovely with our other squares. And I have a new project bag for my Wonderland yarns. I wanted one that was just for working on my squares, so I found this cute Alice in Wonderland fabric the other day, and the inside has a splash of color, which actually looks really nice with this month's squares. So all my stuff fits in here for the squares. Here is the yarn all caked up. I meant to show you that earlier, because it always looks different when it's caked up. And when I was working on my knit square and I got to the end, I did something a little different. And this might be something that other people do, and I've only just figured this out, but I wanted to show you what I had done because I really like how it ended up, the ending ended up. So I happen to have one square here that I have not woven my ends into. I don't know why this one didn't get woven, but it hasn't. So I can show you. So I generally, and some of you have seen in my other tutorial videos how I do this with crochet, that I don't finish off this last stitch into a knot. I kind of leave it undone, and then I pull it this way and I weave it into another stitch. I will pull it under this stitch, and then it'll go back down into the one where it started, so that it creates this seamless, you look at it, you just see those. But I still was feeling like this spot was not real sturdy in a sense. So what I did as I was binding off, I got to this last one while I still had that loop on my needle, and I went underneath that V of the next one that was the very first bind off. I went under that and I pulled a knit stitch through the bottom of the V, the 2 bars of the V. I pulled that through, made a knit stitch there, and then bound off to that, which pulled this whole section in nice and tight, and then took my end and weaved it in the way I normally do. So here are my corners. There is one corner. There's another corner. And there's the last corner. So I think this was the one I bound off on. But it feels a lot sturdier to me, and it's got a nice seamless look on it, and I really like how that came out. So if you already knew this trick, let me know down below, because I'm just curious. I'm sure somebody else has done this before me, but I was really happy when I decided to do that, and it worked really well, so I was happy with that. But Anyway, so that is this month's squares and yarn. And again, it's a beautiful yarn. So you still have time to do, and the yarn will make quite a few squares. So even starting now, if you only get this next 6 months and you're just, you know, doing one blanket, unlike me that's doing two, I'm sure you can make enough squares to create like your throw size, because they make, like, they actually give you a little diagram for the knit. So I'm doing this one. You can make wrong way. You can make a smaller blanket, you can make the throw, you can make a big one. Their yarn is enough to create this one. So even working now and doing 6 months, you could still have enough to make a full blanket. And I'm not positive. You might be able to get the back colors, but I'm not positive on that. But anyway, join us. It's really fun. And make sure and hit like and subscribe. Do all those YouTube-y things for me. It does really help out. And get your box below. And don't forget to use the coupon code so that you can get an extra 20% off. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye.